Welcome, set of gives, to Geek Salad's retro movie reviews. From the Geek Salad podcast, I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And today we are continuing our Shocktober
Shriek Salad Month.
With Shriek Salads!
Shriek!
So many things. Halloween movie reviews. Last week we had covered Tim Burton's Beetlejuice. This week we are covering a Stone Cold classic, an SCC. That is 1974's Mel Brooks classic, Young Frankenstein.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Awesome. Amazing movie.
Yes, it is.
It's one of my favorites. It is in my top 5 comedies of all time.
It is, depending on the day, either it or Blazing Saddles are my favorite Mel Brooks movies.
Okay, this is my clear front runner for my favorite Mel Brooks movie.
Fair enough.
Hands down.
I can't argue against.
Right. No, I understand that. We can get into that in a few minutes. But last week I felt like we really hit on starting off the show strong by talking about the cast. And this is one of those casts where there is not a weak link anywhere in the cast.
This is a brilliant cast. Yeah, I honestly can't think of any way it could have been any better.
No. The beauty is that it's a lot of Mel Brooks's go-to people.
Yeah.
You start with Gene Wilder as Victor Frankenstein.
No. It's Fredrick Frankenstein.
Fredrick. It's just such a great gag that continues throughout 2/3 of the movie.
Yeah.
And when they finally do give him the Frankenstein name, it's just there's so much weight behind that.
Yeah, but that's true.
But just at the beginning when they're introducing him and he's in the class, and that one student, that smart alecky student's like, "I have a question, Dr. Frankenstein," and it just kills everything.
And that look on his face, like, it's Frankenstein. Like, he's heard this a million times before.
Not only that, but the fact that this guy kept digging at him.
That kid was just a smarmy little bastard.
Oh, I know. But even the supporting cast in this movie, it's like these bit players. Mr. Underhill. Will you please hop up on the table?
Oh.
Nice hopping.
Oh,
yeah, this is probably my favorite Gene Wilder role.
I don't know. He's had a lot of real gems.
But this is the one I feel like is an actual character more than just playing the Gene Wilder type. I mean, I think the Waco Kid in Blazing Saddles, but this is, I think, definitely his best role.
I don't know. For me, it bounced between this one and Willy Wonka.
Yeah, you would. He's so good, and he's just such a straight man in this lunacy.
What's great is he's always like right from the very beginning to pretty much at the end. It's always about what can he do for him. He's really a very selfish character, but because it's Gene Wilder and because he gives it such a he plays it so special. You really love the guy. You root for him, even though he's not a very likable character.
No, he's not. He cheats on his fiancée. He is looking for glory.
Yeah.
And when he finally does, he reads the diaries and he reads all the journals and everything. And he just realizes that he could give himself the fame that his grandfather never had.
Right. So it's always about himself, but you still root for him.
Especially because he left the other two just like sitting there while he reads them all and they're falling asleep. He's so good. And when he does do the slapsticky stuff, it works really well. The thing with the hidden door and the candle.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love that scene so much.
The thing. He's like, listen very carefully.
Just that high pitched tone that he adds to his voice.
Right. It's just he's so good. It's just it really every part about that is fantastic. Even when he's going insane,
Yeah.
he's still got some great moments.
Very much
Marty
so.
Feldman.
Marty, the scenes between Marty Feldman and Gene Wilder are some of the funniest scenes in cinema history.
This really shows a lot of people that didn't get to know Marty Feldman, because for the most part, Marty Feldman was a British comedian. He had done a couple of movies here and there. He'd done a lot with Gene Wilder, actually. I believe there was a movie called Sherlock Holmes' Smarter Brother that he was in.
Sounds familiar. I've never seen it though. So
okay,
this really is the movie that I know Marty Feldman from.
Right? Yeah, he's just so good because he's just being Marty Feldman, and he breaks the fourth wall a lot in this movie, and it's fantastic when he does this.
Yeah.
Call it a hunch.
And the fact that his hunch keeps moving around.
The sound effect when Fredrick touches it for the first time.
It sounds like it's like a wooden hump right there.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like a rotten melon. Oh, and there's just so many things. The charade scene.
Oh,
dirty word. He said a dirty word.
All right, 2 words. First word.
Oh, and just everything. And this is one of those movies where you quote whenever.
Oh yeah.
Why are you talking like that? I thought you wanted to. No, I don't. Suit yourself then. I'm easy.
And I mean, the whole opening scene where, isn't it Fredrick Frankenstein? No, it's Fredrick Frankenstein. Oh, I quote that. I mean, I was watching it yesterday, and I was quoting that line, those scenes as they were saying them, because it's just that hilarious.
It's a really good scene. That one, that's the line that follows that. Well, of course, the rights have gone up.
Yeah, could be worse. Could be raining.
Oh God, it's just such great stuff, and just the fact that he is always just this creepy person. My all-time favorite line in the movie comes from Marty Feldman,
which is,
when things like this used to happen to my old dad, the things he'd say to me.
Why? What did he say?
What the hell are you doing in the bathroom? Why don't you get out of there? Give somebody else a chance.
Just that, and that like weird eye that he's always got.
Yeah. Oh, that was a physical affliction that he used for comic gold.
Oh, and he used it perfectly in this movie.
Oh man, Terry Garr. I don't think people talk enough about how good Terry Garr is in the movie. Terry
Garr is someone that she's you don't really think of her as a huge comedic actress, but I mean, considering that she's acting against Gene Wilder, Marty Feldman, Madeline Kahn, she holds her own, which is a feat in itself.
No, right, because essentially she's being fed lines, and it's her timing.
Oh yeah,
that makes her stuff work. The
rolling the hay.
Well, that thing. What knockers? Oh, thank you, doctor.
I mean, I'm sorry, but my favorite line from the movie is hers.
Yeah.
Put the candle Bic. Just the way that she gets it, that slightly like Romanian, Transylvanian accent to it.
Oh yeah, I mean they've all got German, like highly exaggerated German accents in that movie.
Yeah.
Madeline Kahn is great for the short amount of time she's in it.
From what I hear, she was actually Mel Brooks was going to cast her as Inga, but when she came in and she read the script, she was like, you know what? I would have a lot more fun with the character you don't see as much,
right.
Which is, you never hear about actors like giving up bigger roles, but she did it because she thought she could have more fun with that one.
Absolutely. The beauty is she's such a prude.
Yeah.
And that's until she meets the creature. And
he breaks down her walls.
Yep. Oh, man.
Oh, sweet mystery of life, and last I found you.
7 or 8 quick ones, and then you're off to post and brag with the boys.
Oh, I love that line.
Oh. Made Peter Boyle as the creature.
Peter Boyle does so much with so little.
Right. I love the fact they didn't cover his head.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he is bald in this movie. It just, I don't know, it's just because that's how you think of him now.
Mm.
But he works really well. The grunting.
Yeah.
Another one of my all-time favorite scenes.
Possibly my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah.
The Gene Hackman scene.
Oh my God, Gene Hackman, one scene, uncredited, and he is fantastic in it.
He is brilliant, but what's great is the way Peter Boyle kind of plays off him with just the express. Like after they smash the mugs and his breaks, he's just like, oh. Just the expression is so perfect.
Here's some nice hot soup to warm you up. Ah!
This is the look of utter dismay. Like, he knows that nothing is going to go right in this scene.
Right. Oh, you're a mute, incredibly large mute. Kenneth Mars.
Kenneth Mars is brilliant in every scene he's in.
In fact, he steals every scene.
Yes.
The accent. We talked about the overplay of the German accent.
Yeah.
This is even better because even the Germans don't understand what he's saying.
Grandfather's footsteps. What?
Following his grandfather's footsteps.
Oh, footsteps.
He would curse the day he was born of Frankenstein.
What?
I said he would curse the days that he was born of Frankenstein. Oh.
The dark scene.
The dark.
And then
I love that. It was beautiful timing.
Yeah.
In that whole thing, because he hits those three, and as they do the turnaround and then the spit take.
Yeah.
All of it was timed so perfectly. I don't know if we thank the sound editor for that, or I don't know who we thank for that, but that was incredible.
Just his interactions with his wooden arm.
Oh God, it's a lot like Dr. Strangelove. Yeah, the wooden arm. He still has to light it so we can light his cigars.
He puts that in his beer.
Oh, the other thing too is the eye patch under the monocle.
Oh yeah.
They probably just do what you do.
Yeah.
And we also have Cloris Leachman as Frau Blucher,
who she's great at playing an old woman, despite the fact that she was actually very young when she was doing this movie.
Yeah, she is. She's still alive.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Just the running gag with her.
Oh, yeah.
The horses. Now, I'm trying to be, clever and play a horse sound, and it's not coming up right now.
I was going to do that, but then I was like, no, it's not going to work. So
son of a bitch.
And you know the story about why they keep neighing, right?
Yeah, because Blucher is German for glue.
Yeah.
Oh, but just that gag goes on, and then they stop, and then you get about a minute, and then Marty Feldman sticks his head out, says Blucher, the horse is Winnie. He gives that great big dopey smile. He goes away, and then 30 minutes later, when she's letting the creature free, they burst into the room. He says it, and the horse is still Winnie. When I was a kid, and I didn't really quite understand the movie. I must have been about 10 or 11. I saw the movie and didn't really get it. It's not a kid's movie. That gag got me every time.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great gag.
Even when you don't understand the topic, the purpose behind it,
right? It's
still a hilarious gag.
The fact that they say a name and the horses go insane. It's so fantastic. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, the thing I love most is this. She has some great expressions, like when she's like when she's offering all like, would you like some more milk for Ovaltine? Nothing. It's just that look of like that pain, like I tried my best.
Right. She's got that aside. It's that thing from the side that she just
exactly.
And she does it a lot. And this was a character that Cloris Leachman was kind of known for throughout the Mel Brooks things. She was always the tough, mannish female. The one with the moles and the warts and like the hairs growing out of them. I don't remember her being a love interest in any of Mel Brooks's movies.
No, she was always a side character, but it's always a side character that you remember well.
She's a fantastic character actress and great at this type of 70s comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Hard to believe that out of everybody, she was the only one to have had an Oscar at that point.
Really?
Yes, for the Last Picture Show. Terry Gard didn't get a nomination until Tootsie. Gene Wilder was nominated for The Producers. Marty Feldman never got an Oscar nomination at all. Neither did Kenneth Mars or Peter Boyle.
I thought Peter Boyle got one.
Oh, you know what? Gene Hackman had won an Oscar, but he doesn't really count because he's kind of uncredited.
Yeah.
No, Peter Boyle, I think, won an Emmy. He was more of a TV guy. He did movies here and there, but
actually, I watched like I said, I watched Young Frankenstein yesterday.
Yeah.
They in the more recent edit editions, they have added in the credit for Gene Hackman.
Yeah, I know, and it's just because you got to give him credit at some point.
Yeah,
man, quit acting for God's sakes. You got to give him his money when he can.
It's Gene Hackman.
It's Gene friggin' Hackman, and he's so good. He's so good in this.
He is brilliant.
This is also the movie Mel Brooks had the wherewithal to keep himself out of.
From the story goes that I guess Gene Wilder basically told him, "You're not going to be in this movie." And
right.
Mel Brooks was like, "Okay."
Yeah. Well, which is good too. I think that. Well, first of all, he does appear. He is the cat going.
Yes.
When Kemp throws that dart, or when Frankenstein throws the dart.
And apparently he's in the crowd during one of the German riot scenes.
Right.
I tried looking for him. I couldn't find him.
Right. He has a larger part in The Producers, and he only has the one line. I was born in Dusseldorf, and that is why they call me Rolf. No, wait, no. Don't be stupid. Be a schmotty. Come and join the Nazi party. Which is good because this movie needed a director at the helm full time.
Yeah.
The look of this movie, that it doesn't look like a movie from the 70s. It looks like one of those Universal monster movies.
That is the thing. I mean, out of all of Mel Brooks' movies, this one looks the most unique and most special because they actually used the sets from and all the props from the original.
Right. Yeah. He had done Wales Frankenstein, and so they used a lot of that stuff, and it looks authentic.
Yes.
And the sound mixing and just the developing of the film, the way that they process the film to make it look like that really hold up. There is a lot of love in this parody movie.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, they Mel and Gene had originally taken it to, I think, Columbia, and they said, no, well, we're going to give you this budget, which was lower than they were asking, and we want it in color.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go over to 20th Century Fox.
Right.
Give your budget and make it black and white. We'll do it.
Yep. Because, I mean, the other thing, too, is that, Peter Boyle was painted green throughout the movie, even though they knew it was going to be shot in black and white. He looks ridiculous in color.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. You see some color shots, and it doesn't work out.
I believe it was the Laserdisc actually had color photos of him, on the slab with the green face, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, even during that Gene Hackman scene, you can see that there's makeup on his face,
right?
But it's just white and gray.
It works better because pinks. It's a little filmmaking trick for you. Pinks read as white various shades of white in black and white.
Mm.
So, aspiring filmmakers looking to shoot in black and white.
Yeah.
Trick you learn. Hey, you want white walls? Paint them pink.
Cool.
Yeah, I think Mel Brooks definitely. This is without a doubt my favorite Mel Brooks film.
Yeah, like I said, depending on the day, it's either this one or
Right.
Blazing Saddles.
Right. Now, I alluded to a conversation we were going to have yesterday, about this movie and the time it was shot in. I know that, especially when you talk about Mel Brooks, people have that tendency of arguing, well, they could never make Blazing Saddles today. I argue, well, I'm getting into that in a second because it kind of is a two-fold thing. I argue you also could not make Young Frankenstein today. Reasoning for both, the marketing need is not there to make this. We would love to see a movie that is a spoof, that is generally a spoof of a popular franchise. We would love to see a quality version of that. No one would go see it. I think this would go over too many people's heads. Much like with Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles is a product of its time. It's a product of the early 70s. This is a product of the early 70s. It lasts because that's what a classic film does. It lasts. But you don't hear people saying you can't make Casablanca today because of the Nazis. You won't make Casablanca today. You won't make a Blazing Saddles. You won't make a Young Frankenstein today. What is spoof to movies now? And I've been very careful, Mike, to use the word quality spoof, quality filmmaking a lot in the last 20 minutes because, let's be honest, parody in Hollywood is dead.
I like to think that it's just resting. It maybe it's pining for the fjords.
Yeah, it nailed it. Be pushing up daisies.
But I think what I would put a caveat on what you just said. I would say Blazing Saddles you can't make today because people would burn the studio down.
No, and I don't agree with that either. I don't think that it would have the same resonance today as it did in the 70s. I mean, all things being equal, that's all I'm saying. All things being equal, the social relevance in the early 70s, that is what they needed. I don't think it's anything to do with political correctness or anything like that. I just don't think, first of all, Western.
Hey, there are Westerns still.
Name the last Western that made money.
Unforgiven?
Okay. What year did Unforgiven?
No. 310 to Yuma.
310 to Yuma did not crack 100 million, and that was 12 years ago.
I thought it made money.
I can look up the budget for you, but I'm pretty sure it didn't make much money, if it made any at all.
Yeah. What all I'm saying is Blazing Saddles, because of political correctness, I don't think you could make it now. Young Frankenstein, you can make it now. It may not make any money, but you could still make it now.
We could really remake anything now or make something now. But again, the relevance, again, this is something, this has this magical little gem of the 70s.
Yeah.
Where these movies were made in a microcosm.
Well, I mean, it's also
you couldn't go back in time, put the kibosh on those, and say I will make those for myself in the 20-aughts. You just couldn't do. I don't think you could do it. All things being equal, the movie doesn't work.
I also think that Mel Brooks' brand of comedy. I mean, he's still making a killing on Broadway and on the live stage. Hell, they made a live stage version of Young Frankenstein,
which definitely feels like it's a what do we have that's not the producers.
But I don't think his brand of comedy is still in the social It's not in the consciousness anymore.
Right. This is the least Borscht Belty of Mel Brooks's comedies. I mean, it is a spoof, but it's not one of those spoofs that is very similar to like the Zucker Abrams Zucker spoofs.
Right, yeah.
Where the jokes are pretty much right there on the screen.
This
one takes a little while.
This one's a little bit more of a highbrow comedy, I would say.
Exactly. And, some of the jokes, the abnormal brain, abnormal. You have to remember that it said abnormal brain in order to get that joke.
Well, I mean, until they explain it abnormal, like a second after he says abnormal. So
yeah, you put an abnormal brain into a 7-foot, 300-pound gorilla. Quick!
And back to the charades.
Oh my god, I love that. Going back to Gene Wilder real quick, another scene I love and another bit of just how brilliant this movie is the whole breakdown of they've got the creature locked up. I'm going to go in there. No matter how hard I scream, no matter how much I cry, no matter how much I beg, do not let me out of that room. He goes in the room. The creature just springs right up. He's like, get me out of here. Get me out of here. Get me the hell out of here.
I mean, that's a classic joke. But
can't you people tell when I'm joking?
It still works because of Gene Wilder.
Let me out of here. I'll crank your rotten heads in.
I love his Fred Brooker that stops him like, no, you must work through this.
Yeah. Oh, there's a great bit, too, where the creature's climbing up the side of the castle. No, he wants to do it himself. Let's not forget the putting on the Ritz.
Oh.
The iconic moment of this movie.
That almost wasn't in the movie.
That's crazy to think now.
Yeah, Mel Brooks did not want to put this. He thought it was a stupid scene. He had no interest in doing it. But Gene Wilder was adamant. He would not let Mel Brooks not put it in there. And he argued so vehemently for it. So Mel Brooks eventually got it. You know what? Let's put it in there.
Yeah.
And Gene Wilder was like, well, what changed your mind? And Mel Brooks said, I still don't think it's a good idea, but you argued so perfectly. I'm going to agree with you. That's a good director.
That is a good director because that scene works. It's a great little break in the movie. Yeah. First of all, because you've got all this stuff where they're trying to get the monster back. They're trying to rationalize with them. After everything that's gone on, right before the end of the second act of the movie, you get a musical break. Yeah. And a tap number. And you've got the creature speaking. And it's brilliant because he can't talk all that well.
Nah. I mean, come on. To this day, every time I hear that song, it doesn't matter who sings it, I always hear.
Sadly, the only time I've ever heard a decent version that my kids can dance to is the taco version,
which I enjoy.
Yeah, I do too because I've heard slower versions. Yeah. But we do have this one on our Halloween mix. We have the Young Frankenstein putting on the Ritz on our Halloween mix because why wouldn't you? It's so goddamn brilliant.
But it does beg the question, why do a bunch of neurosurgeons bring leafy lettuce to
rotten vegetables to a scientific gathering?
And these are high-minded neurosurgeons and psychiatrists, and let's bring up a bunch of vegetables just in case it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Also, the great thing about that scene is the fact that they have no issue with the monster. I mean, they're scared at first, but then, once he starts dancing, they're fine. What really sets them off is the fact that the light explodes and he stops dancing.
Right.
We're not having fun anymore.
Entertain us. It is seriously, this is one for the records. If you have not seen Young Frankenstein, for the love of God, what are you waiting for?
I know what they're waiting for. They're waiting for it to be their destiny.
No escaping it for me.
Such a random line, but
my God, it's so good. Well, there's just so much randomness in the movie. The bit with them on the train.
Oh, and
they're in New York. But all night, let him. And then they go to Germany. It's the same conversation in German. Lass ihm.
Transylvania next.
Oh God, it's just so good. This is one of those movies. If you have not seen it, I would argue that Target has a Halloween section.
Oh yeah, I mean you can probably get this movie for like $5.
$10. $10 probably gets you the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It is
well worth it.
Oh my God, I remember getting this. I had it on VHS. Autumn and I weren't even engaged yet, and I had just come back from a week-long job training in Baltimore. She picks me up at the airport, gives me this great gift, and it's the DVD of Young Frankenstein.
That's when you knew that she was the one for you.
Yeah, we were engaged like a month later, so it wasn't that kind of a thing. But yes, it was. We love that movie so very much. There's just so much about that movie you can't not adore.
Yeah.
So definitely, I give this one very high marks.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, this like we both have said numerous times, this is among our favorite comedies of all time.
Right. I don't remember where this hit on our top 20 comedies 2 years ago. I'm gonna venture to guess somewhere in the top 10.
I would hope it would have.
Yeah. If you are an avid Geek Salad listener and you remember what number we put it in, please put it in the comments below.
Yes, please.
Yes. So is this one that's like a year-round one for you, Mike?
Yeah. I mean, well, this is definitely on my Halloween playlist, but every now and then, like, I'll just like feel the need to, watch putting on the Ritz, so I'll just put on the movie.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Excuse me, it's so good. I'm so tired. So, anyway, that was Young Frankenstein. Did I forget anything, Mike?
Yeah, come back. I was going to make espresso. Apparently, Hackman improvised that line.
Yes, I heard, because they had to cut it. When he said, I was going to make espresso, they had to cut immediately.
Yeah.
Because the crew lost their minds.
Oh, and actually, the whole scene where Elizabeth shows up and all of the antics that Marty Feldman was doing, that's the only moment where you can see on camera Wilder was just on the cusp of losing it. when After he's like, would you help me with the bags? Sonny, you take the blonde, I'll take the
Soyman.
And you can see he's just like fighting back laughter.
God, the 70s. Back when you could do shit like that and get away with it because it would make it into the final cut.
Yeah.
So if there's anything we missed about Young Frankenstein that you think we should have talked about, please leave it in the comments below. Don't forget, if this is your first time to Geek Salad, welcome. You can subscribe to the channel here. Please give this video a like. Also, Mike and I host a little podcast called Geek Salad. Every 3 weeks or so, we pretty much are averaging out the 3 weeks at this point.
Yeah, about that.
7 episodes later, we are still on. You can get us at geeksalad.podbean.com. Currently, our latest episode, which can also be found here on YouTube, is our movie scores episode.
Yes.
I edited that a week ago. This shouldn't be that big of a deal. Yes, our movie scores episode is up. So definitely check that out, as well as a bevy of other ones. We're also available on Spotify, Stitcher, and iTunes, as well as Google Music. Yeah, Mike, you're rolling your eyes.
No. I'm just trying to think of if there's anything else, anywhere else that's available.
I think that's about it that we are available on. We're also available. To talk to at Twitter at Geek Salad Radio, Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast, and you can email us at geeksalladradio@gmail.com. So next week, have we decided what we're going to talk about next week? Surprise for Facebook.
I was thinking either. Yeah, let's make it a surprise.
All right, we'll make it a surprise. I think I have a good idea what we're going to talk about, but
I think so too.
So anyway, until next time, I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
Go forth, be nerdful, and happy Halloween!